we have more things to discuss. And today it is Rhaia the Mourned, the Void Legendary. All Voids usually don't, they're pretty good, most of them. Most Void champions. We've been very lucky with Void champions. Gaspard, Tecton, hell yeah. But today we're talking about Rhaia The Mourned. So let's go! She's also from the Sylvan Watchers, and she is the boss in the event dungeon. A1. Anguish and Agony. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore 15% of the target's defense. What the fuck? Holy shit. Heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. Grants an extra turn. Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god. Ignoring defense is freaking king in Live Arena. I love that shit. Oh my god. Okay. That's the A1. See, the thing with kits like these, I remember reading Pontiff's kit, and I'm like, oh, yes. And then we never saw him. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, he exists, but not for us. Alright, Legacy of Despair goes down to A3, or 3-turn cooldown. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Before attacking, has a 75% chance, and that's a 100% chance when booked, of placing 25% weakened debuff on the target for 2 turns. Will ignore 15% of the target's defense and any block damage buffs. Get the fuck out of here. Will also ignore an additional 5% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. Stacks up to 35%. Reduces the cooldown of this champion's Discordant Fury, scaled by 1 turn, and places a stun debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills the target. This debuff cannot be resisted or be blocked. Dude, they are bringing out so far 3 champions that can hit like a freaking truck. Damn. Then we have Discordant Fury, books down to A3. Attacks all enemies 3 times. Holy shit. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Each hit has a 75% booked up to 100% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. Fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each stolen buff. Damn! Holy crap. Yeah, this is a Void Legendary, alright? Then we have the passive, Corrupted Majesty. This champion deals 30% more damage while they're under 3 or more buffs. Whoa. The fuck. While this champion is under increased attack buff, a block debuffs buff, and a veil or a perfect veil buff at the same time. Okay, at the same time. Prevents this champion's death, and their debuffs and instant effects also cannot be resisted. Okay. Let me read that again. The second paragraph here. While this champion is under an increased attack buff, a block damage buff, and a veil or perfect veil, the same buff at the same time prevents this champion's death, and their debuffs and instant effects also cannot be resisted. Increases ally attack in all battles by 35%. Only applies to Sylvan Watchers. Ugh. Fuck it. I hate auras like these. I hate. Oh man. You know, I've mentioned this before. There's not a lot of damage dealing champions with a speed buff, ally speed buff, whether that is 19% or 28%. Well, actually, more specifically, 28%. I can't really say am I gonna go for her, because you can't really you can get her, but you get her through let's see here. You can get her from Void Shards dropping from August 5th. Drop from more shards to August 5th, maybe. Yeah. I like that they're bringing out so many damage dealing champions with the whole, well, ignore defense is huge, and she does a lot of it. And then the other two, which is like ignoring unkillable and block damage, which is really nice. Um, would I want to go for her? Well, hell yeah. Am I gonna get her? Hell no. Um, yeah, she would definitely be worth pulling for. The fact, but also keep in mind that I myself, let's actually bring up the other slide here. Hold on, let me just go through a couple of them here. So 3 champions here blocks or it goes through block damage or unkillable. I believe he only goes through unkillable. He goes through unkillable and block damage, and she goes through block damage, I believe, and a lot of defense. I think you would be very happy with Fallen Silverheart, and the other ones would be nice as well, obviously. Yeah, Void Champions really, like, usually pretty good. I would love to get her, you know, and I think I would use her quite a bit, but there are other Void Champions to be had. But yeah, that doesn't mean she's bad, not at all. Very, very excited for the champions, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go for the 2 fusions. And if I understood this correctly, we're getting 3 of these. Well, not for free, but if you count fusions being free, then yes. We have Fallen, then, which is the fragment fusion. We have the classic fusion, that is Hageba. Hageba, that's a freaking weird name. A loyalty program? Wait a second. Valerian the Equalizer, loyalty program. Is this? Because then, like, come on. I'm not sure. Loyalty program. Let me have a quick Google. Raid loyalty program champions. Let's see what we can get up here. Let's have a look here. In Raid Challenge, loyalty programs are recurring time-limited login events that allowed all players to claim a feature legendary for free. Historically, okay. Said okay too many times. Okay, so he will be free. So you're getting him for free, and then these 2 are fusions. That you know, I wouldn't say you know, I don't think. Depending on where you are, if you're early game, mid game, I remember how fusions is just like, if you're early game, you can just forget about them if you don't swipe. If you swipe, then you can probably get it. But if you're late game, usually, and then also if you have the daily gem pack thing, I don't usually struggle with fusions. We had back-to-back fusions. We had Mavara. We had well, this guy. What is it? The Masahiro. Back-to-back, kind of, and that was not really an issue. The more gems you have before you go for them, the better, because you will find yourself here and buying a bunch of these, most likely. That's usually how I get through fusions. But yeah, 3 of these champions will be for free. Very excited. And if let's just play with the if here. Fallen, Hageba, and Valerian will be easy to obtain. Varkos, Helena, or Rhaia. Rhaia. Yeah. Fallen goes through unkillable and block damage, and he is though, man, Varkos is single target. He fills a role which Rhaia kind of does that as well, but like he only does single target, and sometimes I was like, oh man, doing AoE damage is so good, but in situations where you have someone like Niame there, you do not want to have AoE damage. You want someone like Varkos, the head splitter. So I could definitely see a value here. He's also niched, and I think he can like really be a threat. So man, maybe Varkos. Rhaia, I mean, yeah, Void. I wouldn't be super sad about her. So Talina, Soulseer, super fun with the poisons and everything. Really fun champion to play with. How much use of her am I gonna find in like arena? I don't really know. I don't think not a lot. PvE would be really nice. Putting a bunch of poisons up there and just activating them are really cool. Varkos, really niched, but I can definitely see where we could fit him in. Rhaia is one of those, if you go up against her, dude, you're fucking, I don't know, you know, just don't die. And that's pretty hard coming from someone who goes up against Rhaia, because she's gonna do a lot of damage, a lot of block. Dude, ignore defense and imagine her with a Savage or a Merciless. Holy shit, that's a lot of defense. Ignore. Goddamn. Well, guys, I put out videos every day. If you like this sort of content, let me know, like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys are going for these. Who are you most pumped about? You know, let me know in the comments below. See you guys next time.